Hello, dear adventurers. Today, it's 4.1 release, with Neuvillette, Wraithlessly, Hu Tao, and Venti coming. With Fontaine coming, it may be hard to decide on who to pull. In this video, I'll explain the upcoming character's kit and value to help with that decision. First of all, we've got Neuvillette, an Hydro Catalyst user. His main role is main DPS. His kit, it's pretty OP, but complicated. Thus, I'll help you to understand it. First of all, we've got the normal attack. His basic attack consists on 3 basic attack sequence. However, that's irrelevant as it scales really low. What matters here, it's his charged attack. It has to charge by 3 seconds, and then it releases a strong water current, dealing AoE hydro damage. This current lasts up to 3 seconds at C0, dealing 6 damage instances. The charging time can be reduced up to 1s by consuming source water droplets nearby, while restoring up to 14.1 HPA per orb. Each DMA instance will consume 8 of Neuvillette's HPA. Next up, his elemental skill summons a cascading water torrent, dealing Hydro AoE, damage sun summoning 3 source water droplets, and dealing Pneuma-aligned damage. Its cooldown lasts 12 seconds. Now let's explain the Elemental Burst. It summons the power of water and generates a rupturing wave dealing large AU of hydro damage. Then a second instance generates 2 waterfalls dealing a smaller AU hydro damage, generating 6 source water droplets. Its energy cost, it's 70 energy. But its cost, it's not a problem if you possess his 5-star weapon, since it restores 12 energy every 12 seconds. Now, about his passive talents. His A1 passive gives him a stack every time a party member generates a hydro-elemental reaction. When he possesses 3 stacks, his charged attack gets a 60 DM increase. His Atwu passive gives him 0.6 hydro damage bonus per every one's of his actual HP over 30, meaning that the more HP he has at the moment, he gets more hydro DM bonus. Next, character coming this patch along with Neuvillette is Hu Tao. Hu Tao is a pyro main DPS who wields a polearm. If you don't know a lot of her kit, her 2 main sources of damage are charged attack and her elemental burst. She scales off. Her best teams are usually Zhongli for shielding, Yelan and Xingqiu for vaporize. She is Futpu friendly, but for an smoother and easier gameplay, she requires her C1 as she tends to run out of stamina while performing her combo. Her rotations usually deal about 845,000 damage while lasting each rotation about 20 seconds. She is overall good, but needs skill by the user. Next character aligned on the second phase is Wraithlessly. Wraithlessly is the first Cryo Catalyst user. He is another new character from this patch. He is a main Deeps too. His talents are pretty confusing, so I'll resume them here. First up, his normal attack. He performs up to 5 basic fast boxing attacks, dealing cryo damage on a small AoE. This charged attacks get affected by his elemental skill, which I'll explain later. Wraithlessly can also perform charged attacks. He does a high punch launching small foes to the air on an AoE. This charged attack gets increased by 60 by his Ascension Talent 1 when his HP is less than 60, restoring 30's EP. Finally, we have his Elemental Burst. He puts his boxing gloves on and deals 5 massive hit on a large AoE, dealing high cryo damage. Then a second wave explodes, dealing small Pneuma-aligned cryo damage on the same AoE. And to complete the equation, we have old friend Venti. We all know about him. If you don't worry. I got you. He is a Anemo Bao user. He is a supports and crowd control user. His elemental skill deals Anemo AoE damage, and his elemental skill deals Anemo AoE damage. And his elemental burst generates a vortex that deals Anemo damage, and absorbs the nearby elements, dealing up to 1 additional element as damage. Nowadays, shamefully, he isn't too useful, so you don't have to pull him unless you really want to. In resume of this video, we've got Neuvillette A to tier DPS. Next, we've got Hu Tao, an S tier DPS. Next, Wriothesley, a top tier cryo deeps, who is a bit better than Nuvolate on melt teams. And finally Venti, a support who doesn't has too much value nowadays. I hope this helped you. Have a nice day, and please don't forget to subscribe and like the video.